Okay everyone, so after months of watching this baby get built from the ground up, it's finally opening day for Iron Menace. We're going to take an up-close look at the coaster, its queue, and the surrounding area. It hasn't even been that long since we were here last, and they got a lot of work done in that brief little bit of time. We're also going to walk around to other parts of the park and see some things that have changed for the 2024 season. So let's go take a look. Here's a look at the 2024 edition of the Dorney Park map, complete with, down in the bottom left corner, Iron Menace added to the map. To be such a small park, Dorney Park has some great signs for their coasters, and this new Iron Menace sign is no different. There's a little something hidden on the Iron Menace sign. As I walk toward it, let me know when you see it. Here's a look at the completed facade for the ride, including the big McTavish steel archway that you'll walk under to enter the queue. I love the weathered look. They did such a great job making this look like an old factory. Right across from the facade is where you'll come out and go straight to pick up your photo if you choose to get a photo of your ride. The camera, just to let you know, is right at the bottom of the first drop, right where it should be. Okay, so I'm about to embarrass myself on camera. We are going to show you what the on-ride photo looks like for Iron Menace. Here's what the on-ride photo will turn out to be if you get it. This is $18 and it's a 5x7. There are some other options. If you get this, you can add on the other options for $8 a piece, and we'll show you what those options are in just a second. Here's a look at the keychain real quick, the back side of one, and there's the front side. So here's a look at what's available and the prices. You can choose one of the items on the left and add one of the items on the right for an additional $8. If you have a season pass, you can also get for $65 all pictures for the year. And here's a look at these. The pink, turquoise, blue, and purple are magnets. This is what they look like. And then behind them are the keychains. The beginning of the queue has some awesome theming. We're hoping to be able to have a better, closer look at this later, but here's a zoomed out shot of it. I'll kind of get in a look at the back wall. Here you can see they make it look like an office. They have the punch cards, the factory rules, and you can even see Hiram McTavish's office is back there. And of course, you have to remember, idle hands are the devil's tools. I love this giant vehicle they have sitting outside the queue. I'm wondering if this is supposed to be a real version of what the actual ride vehicles are supposed to be simulating. That's a really nice touch. The far back of the outside queue has an open van with a lawn chair sitting on the ground. Unfortunately, we can't get close enough to get a very good look at what's in here. The crowd isn't heavy enough right now to go back this far in the queue, but when the crowds get heavier in the middle of the summer, it'll be nice to take a look at what all is inside this van. Also on the outdoor portion of the queue, they have a TV screen that's showing a little bit of a video. I'm surprised this is actually going today, considering none of the line is back this far, but you can see a bunch of smelting going on the TV, which is pretty cool. Something to look at while you're waiting. It's kind of hard to see unless you're looking down the first drop of the ride, but there's a pit of molten iron as you're coming straight down here. This is probably the best angle off-ride to be able to see the view of it. Even before you get to Iron Menace, the area in front of the coaster has been rethemed to the Steel Yard, and they've incorporated Possessed into this area as well. First things first, you notice that there is a new bar over here to the right called the Sipping Container, which, funnily enough, is inside of a shipping container. I love the pun. Here's a quick look at the menus for the Sipping Container. They have both souvenir glasses and regular glasses on draft for a special Iron Menace lager beer, the Yingling, a Miller Lite and the Blue Moon, as well as they have some canned beers, including the Funk Citrus IPA as well. Jen's trying the Iron Menace Lager and the Iron Menace souvenir glass. So Jen's gonna spin it around so you can see what the glass looks like. That's pretty nice. Nice design. Nice 360 of the coaster around there. Jen's a big fan of the Iron Menace beer. She said she couldn't really think of anything negative to say about it. It has a surprisingly citrus lime zest twist to it that she wasn't expecting, so she would definitely get it again. The can that the beer comes in is pretty cool looking too. Nice shot of the inversion on the ride. They have a whole bunch of scrap littered around the area, adding to the theming. And you can see right beyond all this scrap is the Iron Mill Grill and Bar, the new restaurant that they put over here. We're going to have to try some of that in a later visit. Although we're not eating here today, here's a look at their menu. They have the Iron Mill platter for $17.29, including an entree and a side. Your entree choices are a crispy chicken sandwich, a roast pork sandwich, a cheese flatbread, or a pepper bacon flatbread. And the sides are seasoned fries, coleslaw, or mac and cheese. They also have some potato and cheese pierogies, as well as a deep fried tasty cake crimpet, which is kind of cool. Tasty cakes are kind of a staple around here, so it's nice that they added them to the menu. Okay, so we changed our mind, and for a snack we decided to get both the pierogies and the deep fried crimpets. Each of these was $5.99 a piece, so essentially you get 3 pierogies for $6 and 2 crimpets for $6, which is a little bit pricey for the portion size, but hopefully they taste good. Here's a look inside the deep fried crimpet. Look how moist and delicious that looks. So we thought the pierogies were kind of just okay. Here's one cut open. You can see inside there's not a whole lot of potato filling. For the price, we were hoping for a little more potato filling. The flavor was all right. It just needed a little more salt. It's nice to have the nice fresh sour cream on top. That helped the flavor out a little bit, but well, Jen disagrees because she's not a fan of sour cream, but I thought it helped out the flavor. Overall, it's just okay. It's pretty average. On the other hand, though, the crimpet was great. We both enjoyed the crimpet. Of course, the old adage, if you want something to taste good, deep fry it. It works here too. If you've ever had any tasty cakes, they taste good even if they're not deep fried, but adding the fried oil really gave them a nice crunch that we both enjoyed. They said in the off-season that they were going to be adding more seating to this area, and they've delivered. Here next to the sipping container are a few more tables and chairs. And you can see all of the trash cans in this area are themed to the McTavish Steel Yard. One of Jen's favorite things are themed trash cans, so she's really enjoying this. And you can also hear they've added themed music to the area as well. Although Possessed itself doesn't seem to have been touched up at all, they did do some work to the Possessed sign to make it look more weathered to fit the weathered look of the area. The area that was once the Possessions gift shop is now a large seating area, so yet again continuing the theme of more seating in the park. But to make up for the fact that they gave up that gift shop, right next to it they put in Steel Yard Gifts, which is going to have your nice selection of Iron Menace souvenirs. I wanted to back up for a second just to draw attention to a bit of theming that I almost forgot to mention. Above the doorway here, they have a little bit of a faded sign that says McTavish Supplies and Gear. So it's a nice little subtle touch that you would almost miss if you're not looking for it. It's kind of a small gift shop, but they have a great display as soon as you walk in of Iron Menace merchandise, including shirts, hats, a couple of magnets. Oh, they even have a magnet and a keychain and an Iron Menace pin. Me being the fan of pin collecting that I am, I'm interested to see this one, which I don't see a price on that, unfortunately. We've seen some of these shirts and other gifts before when we were here for the preview. But here's a look at what they have available in here. I like the decor up here, the bottles of tools and little nuts and bolts. It's a nice touch. The theming is as fun as the actual souvenirs they sell in here. And they even have merchandise for other coasters. Here's a nice long sleeve Hydra shirt. Very silky. That one's $49.99. They have a similar Steel Force shirt down below. Nice drawstring backpack and a fanny pack if you're into that sort of thing. These retro posters are really cool.
Those are really cool.
Talon, Hydra, Steel Force, Hercules, Alfundo, and Thunderhawk. Especially like the retro Hercules poster down there. Long sleeve Iron Menace shirt as well as an Iron Menace hoodie that Jen's holding right now. It's got a zipper pocket in the front, which is a nice touch. More hoodies need that. The hoodie is $69.99, which isn't bad for a hoodie. A couple other Iron Menace shirts, and then they get some other coasters here. Steel Force, Hydra, Talon, with some stats. They have hoodie versions of those coasters down here. Here's a Possessed t-shirt and a really cool Thunderhawk sweatshirt. That's pretty cool. That sweatshirt is $39.99. Oh, and here's a 100th anniversary of Thunderhawk shirt. The 100th anniversary Thunderhawk shirt is $27.99. Later in the day, a little kiosk right next to Steelyard Gifts opened up. It has mostly the same things you would find actually inside of Steelyard Gifts, with a couple of exceptions. They have some of the coaster models up here and down here. And even more important, they have some fudge. Of note especially is this Iron Menace McTavish's Millionaire Shortbread Fudge. We're definitely going to have to try that at some point. A little bit closer look at the Central Tool Annex, the seating area that replaced the Possessions gift shop. They have some really cushy couches in here, tables and chairs, so you can relax or you can sit and eat, have a little picnic. They even have, if you want to leave the cover of the area, you can sit on these benches out here. Yeah, so you can probably fit over 100 people in this seating area. It's really nice. They did this quickly too, because they were still in the middle of tearing down Possessions last time we were here. With all the attention given to Iron Menace opening up for the season, we should also mention that MT Buckets is also open right now. So we can finally get a chance to ride the rethemed Flyers ride. So our thoughts on Iron Menace. We actually got to get 2 rides on the coaster earlier today when we first got in the park. Both times we were in the front row. One time we were on the far left side of the row, and the second time we were on the far right side of the row. Each row has 7 seats, so it's a pretty wide car. And I have to say, it felt like by us sitting on the far each of the sides, it was almost like we were riding on a wing coaster, especially where that tilted loop came into play. It felt like a completely different experience sitting on each individual side of the coaster for that loop. So definitely, if you have the opportunity to ride it, try both sides if possible. And they do assign seats, so it might be difficult to get the preferred seating, but if you're able to, try to sit in each of the sides. So the coaster was a lot of fun. That drop was very unexpected with the beyond vertical drop. I loved looking down into that molten iron pit. That was a really cool and fun touch. My one minor complaint is that it's a pretty short ride, so don't expect a long, elaborate coaster, but for a park this size, I feel like we both feel like this is just what this park needed. It's a great addition, and we're both very happy and very excited to have had the opportunity to ride the coaster. We both give this a big old thumbs up, and we're looking forward to riding it again. Now let's transition away from the Steel Yard and take a look at what's new at the rest of the park for 2024. Coming up the Midway, right across from the Kaleidoscope, is the Midway Bar, which I believe is new for this season. I don't remember seeing this here last season. They only have cans, they don't have any draft beers, but here's a look at some examples of the beers that they have available for purchase. They have the Iron Menace Lager and the Funk Citrus IPA, in addition to some of your typical beers. Of course, they've added Iron Menace as well as the Iron Mill Grill and Bar to their signposts in the park. Prior to the 2024 season, there were 2 Chickies and Pete's in the park. One of them is still here. The other one, which was in this red building, is now gone. And as you can see, it's been replaced by the Whitewater Tavern. You can see the signage in front now no longer says Chickies and Pete's. It advertises their pizza as well as some craft beers, including the Iron Menace craft beer that they sell here. Here's a look at the side of the building. The Whitewater Tavern features wings, burgers, and tots. Here's a more detailed look at their menu. The cheeseburger basket, bacon cheeseburger basket, and chicken tender basket, as well as a couple of different types of pizzas, some chicken wings, and you can get some sides of tater tots, jalapeno poppers, fried pickles, side salad, and breadsticks. So I got the bacon cheeseburger plate, which comes with tater tots. You can see the burger comes with lettuce, tomato. There's the bacon and the cheese, a couple of slices of bacon. And it comes on paper for the Coasters Drive-In restaurant, which I find to be very funny. Jen got the cheese pizza, which comes with a couple of breadsticks and some marinara dipping sauce. So Jen felt that her breadsticks weren't as flavorful as she had hoped. She said that the marinara sauce helped. She liked the flavor of the marinara sauce, but it was a little bit colder than she had been hoping for. I guess they don't serve it warm. The pizza she had kind of high expectations for, but she wasn't a big fan of it in the end. She said that the sauce was okay and that the crust was a little bit chewy. So she just thought that as a whole, this meal, she gave it a solid C. For my meal, the tater tots tasted pretty much like tater tots, nothing really special about them, but I did find it kind of weird. You can kind of see that they have a tendency to fall apart. I've never had the potato be so loose that it just completely gets destroyed as soon as you touch it. It's kind of strange. Of course, that doesn't really affect the flavor. Flavor is more important, and I did like the flavor. The burger itself is, your typical theme park burger. It's nothing special. It did have a lot of onions on it, so if you like onions, you'll probably enjoy that, but I personally am not a fan of onions. I had to kind of scoop them all off. Here's just some of the onions that were on the burger. Overall, just because it's a basic theme park burger, I would also give this meal a C. We've heard that Dorney Park's Sweet Spot was renovated in the off-season. We've actually never gone inside of the Sweet Spot, so I'm not sure how it compares to how it used to be, but we'll go inside and take a look at the candy that's in here now. Here's just a real quick look at the candies that they have available for purchase inside of the Sweet Spot. And the various Care Bears with the Dorney Park logo on their feet. Of course, like any good candy store, the back wall has some bulk candy that you can get, a bunch of Jelly Bellies and other assorted loose candy. So basically just your typical candy store. Jen found a fancy gummy Lunchables pepperoni pizza kit. Here's a look at the coverings on the windows of the outside, just in case you weren't hungry enough already. Thunderhawk, Dorney Park's only wooden coaster, is celebrating its 100th anniversary this season. In addition to this new sign commemorating the 100th anniversary, they also put new wraps on the trains, which we showed in a previous video. Also of note, this is an ACE roller coaster landmark. It was designated that in 2021. They also put a nice long timeline of Thunderhawk's history on the fence outside of the coaster. Here's just a quick run through of what this billboard looks like. I like that they end it with the stats of the coaster. 2969 feet long, 72 feet tall with a 65-foot drop. They always have some banners on the light poles. At the moment, they've changed up their banners to show the eras of Thunderhawk. Here, the first one is from the construction of Thunderhawk, then known as Coaster at the time, in 1924. Here's a look at a 30-year-old version of the coaster in 1954. We saw a zoomed out version of this picture on the timeline. The front of the coaster had Al Fundo on it in 1960. And last but not least, Thunderhawk in 2016. So we hope you enjoyed this in-depth look at Iron Menace and the new Steelyard area, as well as the other changes that are new for 2024 at Dorney Park. We really enjoyed the coaster. We're glad that it's here now, and Dorney Park deserves a coaster like this. We hope that you enjoyed this video as much as we enjoyed the coaster. If you did, we would appreciate it if you would give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. Every like and subscribe is a huge help, and we really appreciate it. Also, please be sure to check out our Instagram page, which is appearing right over Jen's head right now. Right below that is our Threads handle, and right at Jen's feet is our email address. Please feel free to email us any questions, comments, concerns, constructive criticism. We'll check all the emails, and we appreciate you watching. Thanks a lot. Thanks for watching, but the fun's not over yet. Click the box in front of my face for another fun video, or click my tree to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss another video.